Welcome to What in the Shiva. And that's saying, welcome to What in the Shiva with Susie and Ed.
Or just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit.
But sometimes singing.
Hi, Ed.
Just kidding. We're just going to keep doing that till we get a theme song. But hi.
Hi, how are you?
How was your week before we hung out yesterday?
We hung out like 2 days before that, too.
Oh, yeah.
We hung out a lot this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How was my week? Like intermittently in between the times that I saw you? Really good. That time was used to just like recover from whatever we had done the day before, but it was good. Again, just hanging out, getting ready for the 4th and all that stuff, but nothing too eventful this week for me, except for the events that we did 3 things this week. God.
I don't remember the third.
Joyride, 626, and 4th of July.
Right. That was all this week?
I mean, all in the span of a week, pretty
shit.
much, right?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh my God.
Friday,
why are you so obsessed
Monday.
with me, Ed? Fuck. Leave me alone. I got other shit going on.
Although, someone did comment from that video we posted yesterday. They're like, I do love how genuine of a friendship you guys have.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's so cute. It's true. We hang out a lot. We talk a lot. It's okay.
We have a podcast where we talk, so yes.
Well, no, but I mean, like, we don't talk just here. We talk like in
Well,
like,
sometimes.
When I go like 3 or 4 days and I haven't talked to you, I'm like, is Ed mad at me?
Yeah.
What did I do? Did I do something wrong? He's probably mad at me. And
Sometimes I'm like, I think Susie's over me.
This is why you have to communicate, because neither of those things are true as far as I know, unless he's withholding that.
No.
Also fine.
No.
The week has been good. How was your week? I feel like it was
apparently so eventful that I didn't remember anything.
No, it's not that you didn't remember. It's that it was so jam-packed. It was just overflowing with things.
That actually happens a lot. Like after we're done recording, I'll be like, oh my God, how did I forget this huge thing that happened or whatever? And I'm always like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, let's start with the first thing that we did this week. We went to go see Joyride.
We went to go see Joyride. We went to go see the screening,
Yes.
which we talked about all last week, but we actually got to watch it. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yes.
And then we went to 626 Night Market to visit our friend Michel.
And we ate all the food.
I ate so much food.
We ate so much food.
So much food. I'm actually surprised I don't have gout yet.
Oh God, please. No.
Yeah.
I can't watch you go through that again. It's really painful just to even witness.
And then it happened again, but I got rid of it before I saw you again.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, Ed.
I ate a bunch of mushrooms and thinking that it wasn't going to do anything. And
it's weird that mushrooms cause it.
mushrooms, I guess, have nitrates. I don't really understand what nitrates are, but they just keep telling me I can't eat it.
Wait, so
I try to
nitrates are
Google
like,
it.
I thought nitrates were in like cured meats and like hot dogs and shit.
Hot dogs, a lot of pork, cured
It's also
meats.
in mushrooms?
But purines, I guess, are also bad.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really
even
know.
know what that
And
is
everything has purines or nitrates in it. So it's like, meh.
That's really sucks.
And then yesterday we hung out for 4th of July. And
Yes.
then in between all of that, I also, so that big time artist that we talked about last week who asked me to do that project.
Which I saw, the mural you're talking about?
Oh, no, not the
the
mural.
movie.
No.
Jesus Christ, Ed.
Yeah. So that guy, so that artist that I did the mural with, he referred me to a big time artist who got his career through Banksy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that guy's name is Mr Brainwash. He has a interactive museum in Beverly Hills right now. So he wanted me to make a video for that in my style, which is what he liked.
Oh, cool.
But then he is also doing these like sculpture installs on Rodeo Drive.
Is that what you were doing? I saw one of your stories.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
what? First of all, why are you on Rodeo Drive without me?
Yeah.
And
Well, it was
what
like
are
at
you
midnight.
doing?
It was at like midnight.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so he had to install it overnight. He's a French artist. His name is Mr Brainwash. And the sculptures are origami pieces.
I saw that. They were really beautiful.
Yeah. But his project, he just took origami and spelled it backwards. And it's called Imagiro, which sounds French all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
I kept being like, what is Imagiro? And he was like, oh, it's origami backwards. And I was like, weird. I was like, you took a Japanese word, said it backwards, and now it sounds French.
Interesting, but he is French.
He's French.
Maybe the way he said it made it sound French.
No, when you say it, you're like, Imagiro. Imagiro. You know what I mean? It's
Or Imagiro.
oh.
Right. So I don't know.
I guess you're right. I guess I had some sort of preconceived because he's French, you know, and I was like, you can only say it in French.
Unless I had like one of those like little things on top of it. Anyway.
Yeah. No, but it was really cool. We got to help, film him in doing some of those installs. I've yet to edit either of those videos, which I have to edit like tonight, pretty much.
There's so much editing to do. That's awesome. I want to see it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it was really exciting.
How many pieces are on Rodeo?
I think like 7 or 8.
Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So are they like intermittently like all along, or is it like all in one space?
I mean, Rodeo, the shopping part of Rodeo is like what, like 2-3 blocks? Yeah. So it's like that whole section. And then there's 2 across the street. So there'll be one and then another one across the street. And then like a block down, there's one and another one across the street.
Did not know that.
And there's one right at the entrance of like, that section of Rodeo.
Yeah, where like the building in the hill or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the cobblestone road or whatever it's called.
My best friend is a very high up at one of the very, very expensive fashion houses on Rodeo. I'm going to ask her if she's seen it. Don't tell people, otherwise they ask me for discounts. And I'm like, I can't get them. I don't actually work there.
I was going to be like, oh, we're going to shopping for free?
Even with her discount, I couldn't afford a goddamn thing there.
Samesies.
Yeah,
we actually
not even close. It's a joke.
Ron and I have a pretty decent friend who works for that same brand. And he's like marketing for them. And he's even sent us to events and stuff, invited us to events. And I was like, I feel like I'm judging myself for being here.
No, I won't. So she used to work at Chanel. And I would go there like to visit her and have lunch there, like with her, or whatever. I'd be like, I don't feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
I feel like I was like, or
and it's not the money thing. It's not the money thing.
It's all of it. The high fashion world to me is just such a like. I wouldn't even want to necessarily attain it. Like I don't need $110,000 crocodile purse for any reason. Would I ever need
Sure.
that.
Once in a while, I'm like, I do
nice
love
things.
Ferragamo shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I like nice things, but I mean, honestly, like something that is, the cost of like a home in another part of the country, like to wear on my shoulder, it just feels crazy to me.
And even the 1 or 2 times I did buy it, I literally felt such horrible buyer's remorse, like to this day.
Yeah. Then they tried to convince me that it was like an investment. I was like,
sometimes it is.
That's a pair of, I mean, I've kept the things that I've got at deep discounts because
maybe not the shoes as much, but like some things like bags and some of like the outerwear, like you can resell it for way more.
I know, but I don't know. To me, like the whole like she's like, oh yeah, I get discounts on this and this and this. I'm like, even at a 40% discount, that purse is still $37,000. That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
And then there are purses that she's not even allowed to buy, and she's like a manager and like she's like a higher up. Like you're not allowed to buy them unless you've worked with a company for like 5 years, because people will try to employ themselves at these places just so they can get the discount and then buy the thing and then quit. It's really,
who cares?
I don't
Even
know.
if that happens, that bag costs like $400 to make at max, maybe, because of the
if that.
Yeah. Either way, I don't want to even talk about this. I hate it.
I was gonna say, moving right along. Although I do want to say something really quickly. I did watch this guy who got the pattern for an Hermes bag.
Yes.
And did you see
I saw that? Yeah.
And he like cuts it out. He does all the workmanship exactly the same.
For his girlfriend.
Yes. And it's like identical to an Hermes bag.
But in that video, he did say he never wants to do it again because it was so much work.
Right. Which is fine. But the question I was thinking is, so since he crafted it with, if the purse were crafted exactly the same way, with exactly the same components, with exactly the same materials, and he made it identical to how Hermes makes it, is it now an Hermes bag? Why?
Because it's not made by Hermes.
Who says? I mean, so what?
I mean, that's how it is everywhere.
But so let's say an employee from Hermes.
Wait.
Okay, so let's go back. So it's an
if
employee
I
from
paint
Hermes.
the Mona Lisa, it's not the Mona Lisa.
That's different though, because
I'm not
only one
Leonardo
person can do that. Not only one person can make an Hermes bag. You have a whole factory of people who make Hermes bags, right? So let's say I am an employee of Hermes and I get all the materials, but I make it at home. Is it still an Hermes bag?
No.
Why?
Because it's not.
How come?
Because an Hermes bag
has to be made in an Hermes facility.
It's a brand.
Right. I work for the brand, but I didn't make it.
No.
Why?
I see your point, but it's not.
Why?
Because there's like an ownership factor, right?
Okay, but I work there. So I am an employee there. So just because I did it off the clock makes it not?
No.
You are being so stubborn. That's crazy.
No, I don't.
But why?
I'm not being stubborn.
You're not giving me a reason why.
I am giving you a reason why, because
You're
it's
just
not.
Because no.
No, because it's not Hermes made.
Well, the person Hermes is not going to be. I don't even think the Hermes is a person.
They're not. But it has to be branded.
So let's say so you're saying like the tag?
Well, like, see, I'm equating it to like the art world, where like you can't forge an artwork and say it's from that artist.
But is that the same thing?
It is. Fashion is art. It is art.
Okay, so but manufacturing.
And I think legally art rules apply to fashion.
Yes, in some cases it does. Yes.
Because like a lot of things that people don't know is that a lot of artists don't paint it themselves, but it's still their artwork.
Right. Okay. So then let's say
you know what? Okay. You know what? You want to know why? I know why. Because like I said before, there's an ownership factor.
Okay.
That person got a pattern and made it, but Hermes created that pattern.
Sure. So she's still using the pattern. So it is still an Hermes pattern. No, there is no deviation from that.
Unless it's made from Hermes.
But it was because the pattern is Hermes.
Yeah, but Hermes didn't make it.
But what if I am the person that makes it at Hermes? I just didn't make it at Hermes.
Then it's still not Hermes. It's an Hermes copy.
Okay. So then let's say I'm off the clock. But I go into the office and I make the bag in the facility with the pattern.
The only way in your situation where I think it can be an Hermes is if you made it at Hermes during hours, it's stamped with Hermes, and then you stole it.
Why?
Because specifically with Hermes bags, they're serialed.
Okay.
Like they're...
So it's the serial number that makes it special.
That's how any branding is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that to me is the concept of that to me is absurd. So because I'm not in this serial number, it no longer has its cachet, even though the product is identical to whatever it is.
For instance, I can make, you know how like, the brand Supreme? People go crazy for it. They have that red box logo Supreme. Yeah. And then like people will pay like hundreds of dollars for it. I can make that shirt $5.
Right.
Like the blanks of shirts that they use are literally the cheapest blanks. They're Gildans.
Yeah.
Gildans are like $1 per shirt.
Okay.
And you just get it screen printed. And I could do the screen printing. You know what I mean? I can make it for less than $2, but it's still not a Supreme. I can't turn that around and sell it as a Supreme shirt.
But I'm telling you, what we're saying is something different. You're saying if it were you who is not an employee of Supreme and does not have the same access to the exact same things.
That guy wasn't.
I'm saying take that guy out of it.
Okay.
I'm saying
still no.
If I do it and I work at Hermes, I'm an employee. No. Why?
Because that serial number is like.
So it's just the serial number.
That serial number is like an artist signing the artwork.
See, but you're hung up on the art thing. Take the art thing out of it. You're hung up because you have a very personal stake.
Same.
No. But is it? Because if you took it to somebody to get it authenticated, they would say that it's the same. In fact,
they would say it's not.
Just because of the serial number is what you're saying. But what I'm saying is if you took the serial number away from it, right? Just the serial number away, and I gave you 2 identical Hermes bags and had an authenticator say like, yes, these are both Hermes bags because all the components are the same, the construction is the same, the pattern is the same.
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
Everything is Hermes.
They wouldn't.
But you're not thinking in the abstract. What I'm saying is it is an Hermes bag. It's this idea that because it's special, because it has this serial. So it's not about the bag. It's not about the components. It's not about the craftsmanship. It's not about the materials. It's not about any of that. It's just about the number that's been assigned by the designer, which makes it special, which makes it dumb.
If you were to say this is a Birkin, I would agree with you. Because the Birkin is what the model of that bag is. But it's not an Hermes.
Birkins are Hermes.
Right. But that's different.
Wait, no. A Birkin is a style of bag made by Hermes. So what are you talking about?
But if that guy took a pattern that's exactly a Birkin, then I would say that is a Birkin-ish.
Yeah.
You know what? I would have more comfort calling that a Birkin than an Hermes. Because Hermes didn't make it. You know what I mean?
No. I don't know what you mean. Because a Birkin is made by Hermes. It's just the style. It's just the style name.
Is. Yeah.
Right. So what's the difference?
Because the pattern is a Birkin. So it's a Birkin, right? It's a Birkin. It's just not
that is made by Hermes.
Right, but that's what I mean. But it's not an Hermes Birkin because it's not made by Hermes. It's a Birkin.
But it is.
It's not.
If I am an employee of Hermes and I make the bag.
No, it's like.
Then what makes it not?
It's like clogs, right? I feel like.
You keep saying, but it's like this. It's like this.
Well, clogs are at least like fashion. You know what I mean? Like you can make something and maybe it's not fully Birkin, but it's a Birkin in style, the way it looks, what it's made out of. It's a Birkin.
My whole commentary.
It's just not an Hermes Birkin. It's a Susie Birkin.
My whole commentary on this is really just to say like how silly it is that the cachet of all of this really comes down to just a serial number that they've allocated to this particular thing, when the reality is you could have the exact same thing, but it's completely devalued because it's not qualified as this authentic thing made by this brand. And that's, to me, is like, so that is the justification for taking a purse that is, let's say at the most $400 to manufacture and then selling it for $110,000. That's what I'm saying is like, that is outrageous to me. It
is outrageous.
Right. Well, we don't disagree. You just love to fucking argue,
no, that's
man.
not true.
You just love it.
No, just because the outcome is similar doesn't necessarily mean some of the details are the same.
But what I'm saying is if they were all the same, that's what I'm saying. You just keep saying, yeah, but they wouldn't be. But I'm saying if they were, because they could be.
Still not the same.
Look, you think somebody from Christian Dior doesn't have the pattern? A lot of those like knockoffs, like that you see on Canal Street in New York, a lot of those components are ill-gotten nonetheless, but taken from, Dior and Fendi and Gucci and made by people who actually steal them, but made them with exact specs. The exact specs. Mm-hmm. Technically, kind of, it's a Fendi bag. It's all the Fendi stuff made by a Fendi employee.
With Fendi, it works because it starts with an F, but it's a Fendi bag.
But it's
like Folkleys. You know what I mean? It looks like an Oakley, but it's fake.
Do you think that about Fucci's?
Yeah, Fucci's or Fagucci's.
Frishton,
which sounds more Italian. Fagucci sounds very Italian. I don't know where this just came from.
Anyway, I don't think this was what we were going to talk about at all.
And then it went for so long.
But I think it's a good.
It's funny because you kept calling me stubborn, and you wouldn't let it go.
I'm only stubborn when somebody won't admit that I'm right.
You're not right.
I'm absolutely right.
Let us know in the comments who you agree with.
Okay, do it. Please. He had to make so many concessions on all the things that I was saying.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you were. Because it wouldn't be the same.
No, because
that doesn't make any sense.
It's an explainer word.
It's not. What?
I like fries because they're delicious. It's not an Hermes bag because Hermes didn't make it.
Yes, they did.
They didn't.
If I'm an employee of Hermes and I made it.
Okay, wait. Okay. If I deep faked your face.
That's different.
And no, it's not. You didn't make your parents
face?
Didn't make it. See, only your parents could have made a Susie.
Okay. I'm gonna let you go.
If I deep fake your face and make content very similar to yours, can people call me Sugia?
I am but one person. I am the only person that can make content made by Sugia.
Hermes is one company.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though. If that one person works for Hermes.
What if I worked for you?
You still are not me.
Yeah.
Hermes
they're an employee of Hermes. They're not
does
Hermes.
Not make all the Hermes purses. Their employees make them. That person is still an employee. Therefore, that purse is still being made by Hermes because that Hermes person.
What if I worked for you
and I still not me?
And I sourced all your content.
Totally different. You are still not me. So. Oh my God, you joking, right?
It's the same.
You think?
I think it's the same.
Sir, I feel like you've lost your fucking mind. Hi. Is Ed home? Because whoever the fuck is sitting here has lost their fucking mind.
I think, as a business owner, I think it's impossible. It's trademark infringement.
I didn't say that it wasn't.
Oh.
I didn't say that it wasn't illegal, and I didn't say that it wasn't.
I agree with that.
What I'm saying is, if these two things are identical, what makes one so much more valuable than the other? Branding. What you're saying is branding.
Right.
And I'm saying that's stupid.
It is stupid.
So what?
But it doesn't make it in Hermes because of branding.
Of course it does, because it is the same fucking thing.
We're not saying the same thing.
I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. I have not had enough sleep, and I might need another fucking drink. I was like, I'm not gonna drink this week. I might have to.
We're saying similar things, but it's not the same. Now I'm sweating.
I've never wanted to punch Ed more in my life. And I might. The day's still young.
Woo! Is there air on in here?
Did we even have a topic to talk about?
Not Hermes. That's the topic.
It's totally an Hermes.
Definitely not. Hermes is going to sue you, but not me. That's what's going to happen.
Speaking in hypotheticals is not illegal.
Yeah, it's true. What were we at? Yeah, so I did that project.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
On Rodeo.
Which clearly I hate.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
But it was actually kind of weird because while we were there, at least 3 different groups of people came up who must have stalked where Mr. Brainwash was.
Oh.
And just like, oh, well, look at me. I just like, oh my God, are you Mr. Brain? Like, I was like,
really?
Oh, that's not natural.
Did he have like bodyguards and stuff? Is he like that famous?
He's pretty famous.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how famous. I thought he was just like famous in the art world, but I think
Is he like a social media guy?
He is on social media, but he doesn't really make content. He makes like content that artists make, like, look at me doing this art, like do this install.
Here's my recent projects.
He is a very lively person though. Like he's very personable. He's literally the nicest guy in the world. And every time people come up, he will take your phone and like take 200 selfies and videos.
That's nice.
He's like the nicest guy.
Super down to earth guy.
Yeah, very down to earth. But yeah.
Does he have an Hermes bag? No, I'm just kidding.
We should go down the list. So
yes. Joyride. That was the first one we did this week, right?
Yeah.
I had a really, really good time in that movie.
I had a really good time too. I really liked it.
It did take me an hour and a half to get there.
I forgot about that.
Okay. Here's another bone I have to pick with you, okay?
What? None of that was my fault.
No, that was fine. You're like, hurry up. I'm like, how? I literally had to drive from the west side and take side streets to get to Burbank.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was like, what, 3 o'clock? I don't even know what time it was. 5 o'clock we left. Stupid.
Yes.
On a Wednesday, I think?
Wednesday.
Yeah. So dumb. But, all of our navigations were like, don't fucking try to take the freeway. It's not going to happen.
I can't believe you didn't take any freeway.
We couldn't. The freeways are gridlocked at that time.
Wild.
So like I said, if you held a gun to my head, was like, we're going to blow your brains out unless you tell us exactly the route you took from your house to the theater. I'd be like, you just shoot me. Yeah. I have no idea.
If I happen to drive it again, I'd be like, oh, I've been here before. I
still would have been like, it just spit us out in certain places. I was like, I've been here before.
How did I was like,
I've lived here for 47 years. I've never been on this street in my fucking life.
That happens to me a lot, but I'm directionally challenged.
Same.
Yeah. I just pop out somewhere. I'm like, I know where this is. I don't understand how did going right?
I'll giggle and be like, how did I get to the valley?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How did I end up in El Cerrito or Cerrito or whatever?
Right.
Yeah.
But yes, we finally made it to the movie, and I thought the movie was great. I really loved it.
I really loved it.
There were so many things about it that I didn't expect. I loved that it was just this really unapologetically like fun, like friends trip kind of story. And I loved that without giving anything away, because I know it's not
trying
even
not
yet.
to, yeah. Maybe slight spoilers, but we're probably going to try not to.
And I loved that. I think the thing that I took away most was that these women were so, they were sexual, but they weren't like sexualized. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of like gratuitous like humor and sexual humor and stuff. And it was really funny. But I love that they were all very much like
normal.
Yeah, normal. But they also just like took ownership of their sexuality, and they didn't make it like a thing. So they didn't feel like they were being fetishized at all.
Right.
In any way. And they were all very much in charge of their own sexualities, which I thought was such a refreshing departure from what you normally see of Asian women in media and things like this. There was a ton of sex, but none of it felt like, ooh, uncomfortable and like.
Some of it was a little graphic.
But it was great.
It wasn't like
hilarious.
It wasn't like you're.
But what I loved is like it was graphic in the same way all of these other kinds of movies are graphic. So they didn't hold back because it was a cast of women, let alone a cast of Asian women. So they were careful in the way that they represented it, which I thought was super thoughtful and really, really well done.
Yeah, I really appreciated the fact that they weren't even just Asian, but they were represented as Asian American. Like, yes, we have Asian stuff. We have a lot of Asian background, culture, heritage, things that we identify and make us who we are. Mm-hmm. But we're also American.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we grew up in America.
It was
with
very
American culture
fluid.
and American norms.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of making us look whole without this like Orientalism.
Right.
happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything was really well integrated, like it is in our actual lives.
Yeah.
There are things that I do that are very culturally Korean, and there are things that I do that are very culturally American. And those things, I don't have to constantly be thinking about it and constantly longing for the old world in order to feel whole. I don't have to constantly be like fighting for my identity.
Yeah.
Yes, those things come up and they definitely play a part, but it isn't the only things that we are. And
like, for instance, like I love Joy Luck Club, and I feel like we need those type of movies as well. Because that movie did a really good job of differentiating between Asians and Asian Americans.
Generationally,
that
also.
generationally especially. But I think we needed something like that, because this movie is pretty raunchy.
I loved it.
I loved it. I love raunchy stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt like a lot of my life, I've gone out to be, I don't know if raunchy is the right word, but just like shocking, maybe?
Yeah.
Just
edgy.
Edgy, maybe. Yeah, sure. Just to show people like, hey, look, I'm not this like, yes, okay, maybe I did well in math and science, but like also,
I have a gross sense of humor.
Yeah, like literally when I was 16 in one of our classes, they were like, oh, I think it was like a creative something class, and they were like, you have to create a website. I made a website about poop. And I think it was just like partially trying to be like, oh, you guys all see me as like nerdy, you know, like studious kids. Like, I also like to laugh about farts and poop.
Right.
Because I'm a normal human being.
For sure. And that, I think they did a really good job of that. But I also loved, like, unlike Joy Luck Club, I mean, obviously they're very, very different movies. But I think Joyride was able to...
Oh, let's both have joy.
I said it out loud. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They were able to take these themes that I think very much were represented in Joy Luck Club, like going back to your own your home country and, you know, being immersed in the culture and longing to find things about yourself and things like that. And all of those like very, very poignant central themes I think a lot of Asian and Asian Americans, you know, have. But they did it in a way that didn't make it feel like heavy. And there were some things that were very like emotional, but I didn't feel burdened by it. Like sometimes in Joy Luck Club, I'd watch it and be like, you are trying so hard to make me feel so sad and trying to make me feel.
I mean, they were successful at it.
They were, God.
Yeah.
I think if I watch that movie again right now, especially, I haven't seen it since I've become a mother. I don't know if I can do it. I might try just to see how hard I can actually try.
They might need to watch it at some point.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, they should. They should watch that before they get to watch Joyride.
Definitely. You should definitely be at least like 17.
At least. But it comes out, this weekend?
Yeah, it comes out this Friday, I believe, on the 7th.
Oh, good. And the podcast will be out right before it. So go see it. It's so good. Every single actress in it did such a great job. Yeah. I thought that they were
also,
incredible.
while we're on this topic, before I forget, we do need to clarify. I clarified in the video last week, but Stephanie Shu is not the character that we thought. It was Sherry Cola.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I do want to make sure that, and it wasn't.
This was before we saw the movie.
That was just a memory thing. I only watched a trailer once. It was like 3 weeks before we did last week's video. So yeah, I just had a completely different. And I think Susie was just like, yeah, Stephanie Shu. I don't
even remember what you're talking about, but I just trust that you're doing the right thing by making the announcement. I trust you. I want to watch it again, though. Definitely want to see it again. There's definitely things I missed.
The only thing I didn't like was at the end, when we were leaving the theater, there was this like group of like 3 Asian kids behind us.
Oh, it didn't have to do with the movie.
It didn't have anything to do with the movie, but they were like, it was too raunchy. Asian people don't like raunchy.
Bullshit.
Not only is that bullshit, but that movie wasn't made for Asian people. It was made for everyone. You know what I mean? That movie was supposed to be not a movie where you go to, I'm going to go. Like, I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, I've had people that I know personally who are like, oh yeah, I don't really listen to your podcast because like I'm not Asian and I won't relate to it.
Right.
You know? And it's supposed to go beyond that.
Which is funny because my husband was like, it felt like The Hangover. You know, the movie The Hangover, buddy movie, and like they get into all these antics and whatever. And so when you say that, it makes you think like nobody ever said like, I didn't watch The Hangover because I'm not white.
Right.
I didn't watch The Hangover because I'm not a white guy. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
I didn't watch The Hangover because like I didn't go to Thailand.
Right.
What?
Right. And it's like, so that's, I think what this movie is trying to do is just like make it about the people that they are, but make it for everybody. And like you can relate to you can find something to relate to in this movie.
And you know what I just realized talking about it? Like there wasn't any like tiger parenting in that movie. Like some of the Asian tropes that may be real, like some of those stereotypes, they weren't in the movie.
No, not really at all. I mean, I don't want to say anything, but correct.
Yeah, no, there were some other aspects like, you know, Sherry Cola's parents, you know, they were obviously Chinese, so they were like Chinese speaking. You know, there was like some of that stuff, like some of like, oh yeah, like look at these white people hugging each other. You know what I mean? Like there was some of that, but there weren't these tropes.
Sherry Cola?
That's her name.
Like Cherry Cola?
Mm-hmm. Sherry Cola.
That's so cute. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, it definitely had those aspects to it, but it wasn't. That's the thing. I think when people are making movies about certain demographics, the tropes just get shoved down your throat. And you're like, I know that Asian parents want their kids to excel at computers and math.
Yes.
We all, you know what I mean?
And it's not that those things aren't true, but it doesn't need to be in every movie. It's not it's not some
the
like
only thing that we are.
Right. It's not something that we all share necessarily. You didn't have tiger parents.
No, at all.
I fucking did. You know? But it's not the representation of Asian Americans. Right. You know what I mean? And I really love this movie. Not necessarily, like it was funny and all that stuff as well, but I just really appreciated it for just like not us. You know what I mean? It was like they were just whole ass people. They were whole ass Americans who also have Asian backgrounds and experiences.
Yeah. They did a really good
job. I felt
job.
really seen.
I did too. I did too, especially as a woman. You know
I was about to say, even not as a woman, I felt
as a woman,
seen.
I was like, it felt really good to watch these young women who just really had so much control over their lives and what they were doing and saying and thinking. And it would just watch them having fun was so refreshing. Like, it's not just like, I've disappointed my family and I'm the, you know, like.
Oh, so they weren't us.
Or like your whole life doesn't have to just be generational trauma.
So like us.
And me.
My whole identity. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. And yes,
attacked.
You're going to have some, but like you can be other things too. And I'm watching these women do that. And there were just some parts that were just
hysterical.
So fucking funny.
Oh my God. In the beginning, I got the first like couple things that were hysterical. I got so self-conscious because, you know,
laughing so loud.
So loudly. In the beginning, I was like, and I was like, no one else is laughing as loud. I was like, oh God. I was like, I don't want to be that annoying person.
And I'll just talk about this part just because I think it's been in previews, but the K-pop part.
Yeah.
I was
hysterical.
Dead. I was dying.
Literally dead.
And then there was a thing.
It's so much funnier than the preview.
It's so much funnier than the preview.
So much.
But that's because they couldn't show what the funniest parts were. And we're laughing right now.
Oh, right. I was like, what couldn't they show?
Yeah. In the K-pop scene, the part that they couldn't show, you're going to see hopefully tomorrow after this podcast comes out. And then you come back and be like, now I know exactly what they were talking about. Because I was like,
but like, I wouldn't necessarily say this is like a movie you go to see with like your Asian mom.
Don't do that.
Unless your mom was like Susie, maybe like Asian American. You know what I mean? Like I would not take my mom.
I wouldn't take my mom, even if she was like, this is a girl's night or friend's night out.
Yeah.
Or even like a funny date
night,
movie.
Boys night, whatever.
Children under 12. No, under 17.
16, 17.
Don't
for
do
sure.
It. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like I might take my niece to go see it because she's very mature. She's 17. She's very mature. But aside from that, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But hilarious.
So good.
But also
like really heartwarming too. There's some really heartwarming parts.
It was. And then there one part, without getting into the specifics, that I didn't even question until I started watching the movie that I thought could have been problematic is explained.
Yes. And now we're like being cryptic.
Yeah.
Sorry. The part that we can't talk about is the part that you'll know is the part we can't talk about.
But also going back like 5 minutes in conversation. Yeah, so I was waiting there in line. You know, so you had to be there at like a certain time before they let you in. Because it's a movie theater, you know, you want to get good seats. So like I got there early. And I told Susie, I was like, hey, just get there by 6:30. I'm going to get there at like, I think I got there at like 5 just to start, you know, put my place in line. I was like, I'm going to get there at 5, but I also only live like 15 minutes away. I was like, you come just by 6:30. And then, you know, Susie's early for everything. I'm perpetually late for everything. which is probably where some of her frustration comes
I was
from.
like, this bitch is telling me to fucking hurry up. Okay.
But so we're waiting there, right? And Susie was targeting to be there at 6 because, again, she's a normal person who likes to be early versus me, who's just like perpetually late. But either way, I was like, yeah, you'll be fine. And then all of a sudden she starts being like, there's so much traffic. Oh, it's saying 6:15. And then she's like, oh, it's 6:30. Yep. And then I have anxiety problems. So I started being like, oh my gosh, she's going to say 6:45 next. And it's going to be like 7 o'clock. And I was like panicking because the other thing was they started letting us in early. So I think they were supposed to start letting us at 6:30. They started letting us in at 6. So then I started really panicking because I was like, oh my God.
All the seats.
Yeah, well,
that's the worst.
Luckily, I was like, I had Ron, our producer, and his girlfriend there with us. So I was like, if that happens, just you guys go in early, hold the seats. I was like, I'll just wait here for Susie to get here, and then we'll all go in. Luckily, they were like, oh, yeah, you can just go in. Just come out when your friend gets here. And I was like, oh, you guys are awesome. And then the funny thing was, I'm sitting there. We literally got not front row, center of like right in the center. So like the center, just lengthwise.
The best seats in the house.
Yeah, the best seats in the house, basically. The theater starts filling up and so many people kept coming up to be like, are those 2 seats taken? And I really had to bite my tongue so hard to not be like, yes, the 2 best seats in the house an hour in after they started letting people are still open. And some people like literally started crawling over while I was singing. I was like, they're taken. Somebody is sitting there. They're having bowel issues in the bathroom.
Yeah, thanks. And I walk in there like, that's the lady that's pooping her pants.
I didn't say that to anyone. Like, I wanted to. They're in the bathroom.
I did almost pee my pants though. That was a very long drive. Anyway, then another thing I had to drive a very, very long way for was the 626
That
night
was
market.
also only 20 minutes for me.
Also not 20 minutes for me, an hour and 10 minutes for me.
It was not.
It was like an hour.
Your husband said it was 50.
He lies.
One of them is lying, and I'm just going to agree with Susie because
we've already gotten in one fight today.
She's going to kill me today.
No, it was an hour for sure. It was an hour. It was less back though, which is fine. We got to go to the 626 night market. Our friend Michael opened a stand there.
Called TakoHaus.
TakoHaus.
Like as in like takoyaki, and then house as in like couture. Like house.
Like H-A-U-S?
Yeah, like I think
house.
it's German. House. Yeah.
It's these like Japanese crackers. And when I say Japanese cracker, you're thinking cracker. No, it is a cracker. It's literally the size of like a bathroom tile.
It's like a crepe cracker, but like thinned out differently. And different texture. But just that thinness. So not. Yeah. I just mean like that thinness.
It's a thin sheet of cracker. It's almost like, I don't want to say like styrofoam because that is the wrong, but like the texture is very like
crackery,
aerated.
Yeah.
And they press either like an octopus or shrimp into it. And they don't like just like press it. They like crank it.
Yeah, they have to crank it. Like
it's squished. It was the most unique thing I think I've ever eaten. I have never tasted anything like it. And you know me, I'm not a seafoody kind of person at all, especially when it comes to like super, super seafoody stuff. And I didn't feel that way about it. Maybe the octopus a little bit.
Yeah.
But the shrimp one was really good.
I was like, this bitch is lying. No, I
was like, okay, the octopus one, I was like, it's very octopusy.
Yeah, but it was the octopus part.
Yes, not the part around it.
And then they put like sauces on it, like spicy mayo. It's really good. And like really furikake.
If you guys go to 626 night market, get one.
Also, when you go, just remember the word night is in night market.
Yes.
So you don't have to go at 6 o'clock like we did.
I'm glad we did though, because it started getting so crowded. Oh, but it was so hot.
Oh my God, we melted.
It was so hot.
I was so sweaty.
I would have preferred that, honestly, to be hot for a little while than to be in like, it was getting so crowded. The lines were getting so long. I think honestly we got out of there at the right time.
After we left, when we got back to the parking lot, I flew a drone over 626 and it was so packed.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a drone.
Yeah, I make videos. This is one I know.
Okay, but I don't know what kind of equipment you use.
Yeah, but it was in the video that you watched, the mural video.
Well, I didn't know it was your drone. That's so cool. There's so many things we could do
And
with
like,
that.
yeah, I know. And not to like,
You're like, yeah, bitch, I do them. I was like,
yeah, not to like pump myself up, but I'm like really good at finding the drone.
really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, send me some of that drone footage for my video.
This
Please.
bitch. I'm just kidding.
We
Yeah, I don't
share
care.
everything.
Yeah, I don't. I literally don't care.
God, let's see. What did we eat? We had the wontons. So good.
We walked. Oh my god,
We ate
those
everything.
wontons
were so
good.
I could eat that again.
And this is the thing. Susie is with her family,
Yes.
her husband, 2 kids.
Yeah.
Our producer Ron is with his girlfriend.
I didn't even think about that.
I'm by myself, so I'm not complaining about being like the 8th wheel or whatever that is. I'm complaining about the fact that Michael gave them their own wontons, gave Ron and his girlfriend their own wontons, and gave me the same size order, and no one would share it with me. And they were so good, and I couldn't stop eating them. And I was like, I have gout. I was like, I'm going to get gout. I was like, but I can't stop. No one will share this. I was like, please take this last. No one would take it. So I ate all 5, 6, 7 of those
Which I
wontons.
think now looking back probably happened to you more than a few times because it happened with the lobster.
Kept happening. And then after that, we ate this amazing lobster dish.
I was like, I did not know I was coming here to have a plated lobster
oh my
dinner.
God.
It was so
Felt
good.
like a king.
It was a grilled lobster with these delicious noodles. You were going crazy for the noodles.
Oh my God. I was literally like, the lobster's delicious. I was like, these noodles, I was like, these noodles are crack.
Wait, so then I realized you got your own plate of
Yeah.
lobster.
And then so I got my own plate of lobster.
You're a king.
Yeah.
Look at you.
And then I think there was one plate that had half a lobster, which I think I was the one I was supposed to eat. But for the photo, I took the one that had both halves. And then somehow it didn't get traded out. So I just had a whole lobster to myself. And I know all of you guys are like, this is crazy. This person is complaining about eating. It was a lot.
It was a lot because then that was just like the beginning. That was when we first got there.
That was the first 15 minutes.
Yeah. Then we had an ice cream.
Oh no, we had Michael's TakoHaus in between those.
Oh yeah. Then we had the TakoHaus in between. Then we had the ice creams that were shaped like the J.
Oh yeah, the honeycomb
ice cream
creams.
custardy thing.
I think they're big in like Hawaii.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Then we had shaved ice with the passion fruit.
Oh my God, it was passion fruit, and there was a pineapple one.
It was like a Dole Whip shave ice.
Oh my God, the Dole Whip was
it
so
was
good. There was
so good.
custard in
My
it.
mouth is watering.
You guys walked away, but at the bottom, after everyone was like, "Oh, I'm done," there was just straight custard on the bottom, and I was
Why
like,
didn't you call me back?
I did. I was like, "There's custard under here." I was like, "No one's paying attention." I was like, "It's my custard. It's my custard." It was Dole Whip custard.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
You know, it had it on top.
God damn it.
Yeah, it was so good.
Oh my God. And then
everyone walked away because they were like, the good part's over.
We had idiots. Blew it. Then we had.
So the really lactose intolerant guy ate all of it.
Then we had the ramen. I've even lost count.
Oh yeah. I don't really like to talk badly about things.
It was okay.
It was flavorless.
It was not great. I did not enjoy it.
It was okay. Flavorless. It was not good.
Yeah, it was okay. And then my daughters insisted on getting.
It was the birria ramen.
Yeah, which I don't know if there's only one stand for that.
I only saw one. That's the thing I wanted the most.
But everybody has an off night, and we also maybe like our expectations were really high. Who knows?
Maybe we had too many flavors in our mouth. I don't know.
Or maybe we're just making excuses, and it wasn't that great. And it's okay to say that because we were allowed to have our opinions, and it was fine. Then my daughters wanted to get those fucking baby bottle things,
which probably hasn't seen the light of day since you got home.
I threw them away. They were like leaking, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It had like a penny slot like at the top. I was like, they didn't give a shit.
Oh, really?
They didn't care.
I would have given a shit. I'd been like, I paid almost $40 for this.
Bitch, you didn't pay for nothing. You're a child. I paid for it. No, I was just like, we're not keeping this. It's just cluttering the house. They were $17.
Yeah, no.
For an agua fresca.
Last year, I bought one.
Do you still have the bottle?
I found it in my cabinet like 2-3 months ago. And you know how it lights up?
No, ours didn't light up.
Ours had this thing that lit up inside. And I guess I didn't realize that I needed to take that out because then the battery corroded.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a whole mess. And I was like, well, I spent $20 on this thing and it's just been sitting in my cabinet.
For nothing.
Trash.
Yeah. Then what did we have? You had the pizza buns? Was it pizza buns?
Oh, yeah. Pizza bows. Whoa, those pizza bows were delicious.
Really, I didn't have any of that. And then we had corn dogs and
Oh yeah, and then we went to Go Sticks and got corn dogs.
Yeah, and then we had my daughter had
where I had the craziest cheese pull.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, the cheese pull.
That cheese pull literally lasted like 3 minutes. Everyone was staring at me.
I wanted to grab it out of your hand and like mummify you with it. And just like wrap you up in it. I was like, I've never seen a cheese pull like this in my life. It just kept going forever and ever. I was just like,
and then I would eat it and then pull and it would just keep going.
And it wasn't empty at the end. I was like, where? It's just this like eternity cheese. Where the fuck?
This is gonna sound so gross, but like I basically sucked all the cheese out of that phallic looking thing. And I remember everyone was laughing at me, and I didn't feel like they were laughing at me. But when I looked down and the cheese was empty, and I was like, oh, I did this in public.
Which ironically wasn't the most phallic thing that they served there. Cakes. We didn't get one because I was like, I'm with my 2 young daughters. I'm not going to buy them a penis cake. Like, what is that?
You guys were in line for something, and I just went up to Susie and I was like, there is a D cake over there. She's like, what? I was like, a D cake with cream inside. She's like, what? And I was like,
D? What does the D stand for?
Yeah, like the D, like the D.
The D? Ooh.
Who is this D? Like D?
I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And then I looked at the picture, and it's a cake.
It's a dick cake.
In the shape of a penis for no reason.
They also have vagina cakes.
Why? Like, this is a family place. Like, okay, first of all, you have the ability to make that cake into whatever shape you want. Like, you chose dicks. Why?
All I know is that
gimmick.
We watched this older Asian lady walk away, and I said to Ron, I was like, oh my God, I think she got a dick cake. And as soon as we said that, me, Ron, and his girlfriend all looked at her, and she saw us looking, and instantly give it to you in these, like, you know, those little baskets. And she immediately put it down and wouldn't pick it back up again until she walked closer by. And because I'm 6 foot tall, I was like, dick cake.
You know what I wish for her? Maybe this is like the Joyride thing still like playing in my head. But she just like took it and was like, ah! Just like so gross. Just to fuck with you guys.
I would have loved it. I would have high-fived her probably. I'm like, yeah.
It's
cake, boot, dick, cake cocky. Cake cocky. I just made that up. It's gonna be a porno.
I'm so glad I didn't get a
category
cake.
now.
I'm so glad.
I'm sweating so much.
Did we eat anything else? Is that everything?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. After you guys left, I ordered those mini pancakes.
Oh, you got those? Were they good?
Oh my God, they were one of the best things we ate that day.
My daughter's had
I got the Tres Leches one, which basically is just condensed milk, right? And condensed milk is like crack.
Delicious.
So good.
That's delicious. Dulce de leche is like my favorite. It's funny because I don't love like caramel, but they have very similar, but they're not the same.
You can make caramel with evaporated milk. Yeah.
Yes. I'm still full just talking about, but maybe I'm still full from yesterday too.
I just got so embarrassed from talking about that dick cake. I am sweating like crazy right now.
Don't be embarrassed. They're the ones who put it out there. They should actually, you know what? Gimmicks make money, right? Baby bottles with, sugar water in them. I was like, we got pineapple and mango.
Agua frescas are amazing.
But these were not that.
Oh, they weren't.
It didn't feel like that.
Oh.
It had like those jelly popping boba things in it. So it didn't taste like agua fresca. I love agua fresca. Like, I'll drink a horchata or like, agua fresca any day of the week. But this just tasted like water, sugar, and like citric acid. I was like,
well, they downed them. I watched it.
Yeah, of course. It's unhealthy and they love it.
Yeah. But it was great. It was so much fun. There were literally thousands of people there.
So crowded.
It's so big. Wait till you see the drone footage. It's ginormous.
Yeah, I felt it. When we got home, like we got in the car, the girls were like, oh my God, I'm so tired. They were like, my feet hurt, I'm exhausted. I'm like, well then go to sleep. Sleep for the next hour.
Oh my God, when we were leaving, I was like, my foot hurt. I was like, everything was hurting. And I was even to the point I was like, do we go look for Michael? And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to leave. And as I was about to walk through the gate, I was like, I feel bad. So then I tried to go look for Michael and then I couldn't find him.
Yeah, that place is huge.
So big.
So packed. But it was a good time. And then yesterday.
4th of July.
It was the 4th of July. We had a little pool party at my sister's house. I invited Ed and Ron and his girlfriend.
But Susie invited us to a barbecue. Not a pool party.
I'm sorry.
And then she was like, why didn't you guys bring your swimsuits? I was like, because you told us it was a barbecue. And she's like looking through her phone
I was like,
to prove me wrong. And I was like, it says it right.
You know why though? Yesterday was one of the first sunny days that we had. And I was like, it's probably not even going to be sunny. I doubt anybody's going to want to swim anyway. Of course, the sun comes out and I completely forget that I'm like, it's a barbecue. So we just sat there and sweat.
I felt too full to probably
Yeah, I was gonna say we would have
anyway.
just sank anyway.
Yeah,
we ate your typical fare burgers,
No,
dogs,
that's not true.
chips.
Susie made ribs with her new sauce, and I tasted it for the first time, and it was delicious.
Yay!
Actually,
Thank you.
I ate so much that I was so scared that I was going to get gout this morning because of all the things that I shouldn't eat. Pork is like
Number one on the list.
number one on the fucking list. It is so bad for me,
But you can use it on tofu. I'll make tofu with you or with it next time.
but it was so good.
It was very good.
It's really good.
I enjoyed
It's
it.
like right amount of spicy, but not. It's like tangy. Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very excited.
We
If you haven't ordered them yet,
You can pre-order,
pre-order them
if
now
you want to.
at
SujiaFoods.com. My link is in my bio on TikTok.
order it now. Order it now.
If you want. I'm so bad at self-promotion.
Do
if
it.
you want to try something new, you can.
Do it.
We're in like pre-order right now, which is cool. And, you know, my sisters are very happy with how the pre-launch is going. And we're going to officially launch in the middle of this month, we hope. So that's good. I'm very excited. We're very, very excited.
Order it. You can put it on anything.
You really can. You can
Yeah.
eat it straight out of the
You
bottle.
just eat it like, that's a little intense. But
No.
that is something I would do,
I
to be
mean,
honest.
you don't have to cook it. I mean, like you can dip
Oh,
veggies in it. I don't
yeah.
even drink it.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, Susie.
You can put it in a giant baby bottle. Just drink it. No, you can use it as a dip. You can use it as a samjang. You can use it as, you know, like crudité platter, like whatever. Like you can do it that way, or you can cook with it. You can use it as soup base. You can put it as, you can start a tteokbokki starter. Like there's really nothing you can't do with it. It's pretty versatile. So
And it's true. Korean people, we love to put gochujang and stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, so do white people now, but they just
Yes.
call it Korean spicy stuff. And I'm like,
there's a name. It has a name. I'm going to make a Bloody Mary with it, I think tonight, and maybe a michelada. Just see how that goes. Why?
I hate Bloody Marys.
You know what, Ed?
It has everything that I hate. Tomato juice, celery, Tabasco sauce. We had this conversation yesterday.
You know, Edward, I feel like everything about our relationship just is predicated on these lies and just misconceptions and deceit. I just
Deceit on whose mind?
I
On
don't
your
know.
imagination. From your imagination,
Yes,
not
I
from me.
thought we agreed on most things, but how you cannot like one of the most fundamental drinks, what do you drink when you're hungover?
I don't get hangovers, remember?
Oh, that's why.
Oh, maybe.
You would have learned to love them. What about
Maybe.
like a michelada? You don't like tomato juice?
I don't like tomato juice. It reminds me of the vegetable juices my mom used to make. That texture.
So that's what it is. Maybe if I make you one with the gochujang sauce, it'll be different because it's not tomato.
Wouldn't you still use tomato juice?
No. Come back to us. Hello?
Yeah, I'm confused. But I thought Bloody Marys were tomato juice.
Right. Well, they're tomato based with vodka. So if I do the gochujang sauce with something
So now
else,
we are drinking the sauce out of the bottle.
fuck it. I'll just put a shot in the bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Just drink it. There's got to be a way. There's got to be something that I can do to make it a cocktail because it tastes too good to.
Oh, you can definitely
not.
use it in cocktail.
Oh, maybe like a martini? I have so many ideas. Ooh, I've had a kimchi martini. You take the juice from the kimchi and you mix it with
actually,
the vodka. It's
when you explain it
delicious.
that way, yeah, that does
It's
sound
delicious. See, you turn your nose up too quick. You just turn your nose
Well,
up.
'cause
And
I was literally picturing floating kimchi in a glass
you could garnish with it. Sure, why not? But
vodka.
one time my sister and I were drinking, which is something we like to do together, and I just poured kimchi juice into chilled vodka and just took it as a shot. Delicious.
Actually, the kimchi juice in a margarita might, or not a margarita, in a Bloody Mary might make sense.
Okay, see? Now we're recipe developing.
Not for me, but for those who like it. You know what I mean? Because like the Tabasco is what, vinegar and spice, right?
Yes.
That's what kimchi is.
Yes, right. So kimchi juice, a little bit of the gochujang sauce mixed with vodka. A little
You know
bit
what
of
I can't
water.
stop thinking about right now while we're talking about this? It really bothers me when people just call things Asian or Korean.
Yes.
Just because it has, I get it. Maybe there was like 10 years ago, I would have accepted that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we're now at a place where it's like,
Specificity.
yeah, like Asian stuff, Korean stuff specifically is like so in the forefront of stuff. It's like, I think we're past that now.
Yes.
Just call it gochujang chicken instead of Korean chicken or Korean beef. Like just call it bulgogi something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we all fucking know what it is.
Well, also if you say Korean beef, it could be so many different
That's what I mean.
iterations of it. Like
of
how
what?
many?
Is it kalbi? Is it
Yeah.
kalbi jim? Even
Right.
kalbi, there's so many
Right.
different iterations.
Right. Is
you
it
know?
grilled? Is it
Yeah,
braised?
is it teji kalbi? Is it
Right.
tak kalbi?
Right.
What is it? What are you talking about?
Right.
Imagine going to a restaurant and be like, let me just get that meat sandwich.
Which one?
What? Dude, there's literally hundreds of them. What are you talking about?
Right,
you know, the deli meat sandwich.
Right. I gotcha. You tell him, Ed. Fuck it.
Yeah, speaking of which, you know what I was thinking about yesterday while we were hanging about the pool? I was like, wondering what nicknames you might have. Just because like we're with your family and friends, you know what I mean? Like yesterday was like your younger sister. And I think Emily was
her college roommate.
Okay, her college roommate. Yeah. But his like family friend. And I think they always just kept calling you Susie, or they would just look at you and talk to you. And I just kind of was like, I randomly was like, does anyone call her Suze? I was like, ooh, I bet Susie hates Suze.
I don't hate Suze. Most of my friends' parents, like generation above us, all call me Suze. Because I think that was a very common nickname for Susies.
Yeah, boomer names.
So they call me Suze. I get Sue. My best friend calls me Sue. Suze I get sometimes. My younger sister calls me B, which is short for bitch.
I thought it was because you're the middle child, like A, B, C.
Oh, that's cute. No, she just calls me B. I call her B too. Hey, B. Stands for bitch, but only she and I can call each other that.
Yeah, obviously.
And a lot of people, my friends call me Sujia. And then a lot of them call me Suj. And then I get, I think that's it. There's one that I don't like talking about. So I'm not going to talk about that.
Why do your friends call you Sujia?
Because they heard my parents call me Sujia.
Oh.
So that's where my nickname came from, is obviously from my parents. But then my friends were like, what do your parents keep calling you? They call me Sujia. They're like, oh, well, so do we now. I'm like, oh, it's kind of my parents' thing, but okay.
That's why whenever people in my childhood used to ask me what my Korean name was, I would just not tell them. Or I would just tell them a half truth, which is my middle name is the letter J. Like on my birth certificate, it's the letter J. That's literally technically my middle name.
Yeah.
But it technically stands for Chiho, which is my Korean name.
Why did you not want to tell them?
Because I didn't want them all to be like, I'm going to call you Chiho from now on. And I just didn't want to be orientalized. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So my name's fucking Ed. My full name is Edward. My actual name is Edward.
Yeah, I know.
Call me Ed.
Yeah. But I don't have a lot of like nicknames.
No one calls you like Susie Q? That's like an old timey thing too.
No, I had a creepy chemistry teacher in high school that would call me that.
Of course.
And he would sing to me.
Because of the Susie Q song.
No, not even that song. It's a song like, if you knew Susie, like I knew Susie. I'm like,
oh, that's creepy.
It doesn't ring a bell. And you don't
That's
know
not a
me,
real song,
like,
right?
I think it is.
Oh.
I'll have to look it up.
With the name Susie in it?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that story reminded me of my 10th grade history teacher who was a man who used to give me back rubs in the middle of class. And
God.
just me. He smelled really bad.
And
And he always used to wear.
keeps getting worse.
He always used to wear those shirts that had a pocket right here, and half the time there would be ink leakage. It was just.
He was like.
It was just this like
hot mess
of a man who just always. And I hated it.
That's
I hated
really
it
creepy.
So much.
That's So he's kind of like a predator a little bit.
I don't know.
Feels like it.
Yeah, I don't want to like throw that word around in case he didn't do anything to anyone else, but like it was a little predatory.
Back rubs are totally inappropriate.
Yeah, very inappropriate.
So
to an underage child.
even just that is
15.
Is still not okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. What the fuck were we talking about? I was like, now I'm stuck in this ick
nicknames.
Thing. Yeah, nicknames,
which
right.
then rounded out to you being touched. Well, you know.
Yeah. But speaking of nicknames, I used to go by Eddie when I was younger.
Aw, I would call you Eddie.
Yeah.
Can I call you Eddie?
I don't love it anymore. I just feel like, I don't really want to say it, but I just feel like I personally
don't have the spirit of an Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
see
that.
It's like a little too playful. And I'm like, fuck off.
I only call you Edward when I'm annoyed by you.
Yeah.
Edward.
Literally nobody calls me Edward. Like my girlfriends called me Edward sometimes
really?
as a joke, but like it's never like my mom was ever like, Edward, you know what I mean? It's like, no. But I stopped going by Eddie because I used to spell Eddie. And I knew this before someone said it, but there was this girl in class who like in like 6th, 7th grade was like looking at my name. She's like, oh, it's spelled Ed Die.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I'm changing that.
Yeah, so the next year I was like, I'm Ed now.
Just Ed.
Yeah.
Ed's good.
Yeah.
Edward for formality's sake.
Yeah.
Eduardo if you're Italian.
Or Latino, Hispanic.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well.
But yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's funny.
Okay.
Suze.
Suze.
Hey,
Suze.
You don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
It just sounds so old timey.
Yeah, old people call me that. Suze. Suze? Oh, my husband's mom calls me Suze too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? This name story reminds me of, a producer's name is Ron.
Mm-hmm.
When
you mean Roger?
Ron, yeah. Well, you originally thought it was Roger.
The first time I
She's
met
like,
him.
hi, Roger.
I was like, oh, sorry, Ron, I forgot. So bad.
That's not as bad as like when my cousin first met him. He was like, what kind of a Korean name is Ronald? He's like, no one names their child Ron. And I was like, he's adopted. He's like, oh, right.
Also, rude question. Fuck you.
I mean, he was just joking. That's his personality.
There are definitely some people who are named things that you wouldn't expect an Asian person to be
like
named.
Celeste.
Yeah.
Wait,
Angelica?
Actually, is Celeste pretty common in Chinese? Actually, now that I think about it, all this Asian Celeste I know are Chinese.
I have no
I only
idea.
know 2 of them.
Or like
Celeste
even
Wood.
like my friends' kids who were over last night. Emily's kids. Zeke and Caleb. I just like
I
blocked
was like,
out for
oh
a
my
second.
God.
Zeke and Caleb, they are not. I don't know any Koreans or actually they're half Korean, quarter Japanese, quarter Chinese.
Yeah, I literally was like, oh my God, your kids are
You're
all
all
of East Asia. I was like, wow, that's amazing. I was like, that's so awesome.
And I was like, Zeke, I've met one other Zeke in my life, but he was definitely not Korean or Asian at all. And then Caleb, I find that to be a very traditionally white name. It's a white name.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if sometimes that's like
biblical?
purposeful. Ezekiel for sure is biblical.
So is Caleb, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which that makes sense. But I've always kind of been like attracted to the name Zeke. I don't know why. Maybe it's like the frat bro douchey in me somewhere lingering inside.
Maybe. So I don't want to offend anybody who's named Zeke, and I feel
like
bad about
your
this
friend?
now. I know, especially. But now I'm this little kid. It's so cute.
He's
But the first
oh
time
my God, that kid is so cute.
They're both so cute. But the first time and I think only other time I've ever met a Zeke, it was this like older guy. We were like 16, 17 years old. He was probably like 22. So he was kind of and we're at the beach and I was like, what's your name? He goes, Zeke. I was like, haha, no, really, what's your name? Nobody's really named Zeke. He's like, I'm really named Zeke. I was like, oh, so sorry. It was just a name that I'd never heard like anybody ever be named. I was like, sorry, you're cute though. Sorry, but you shouldn't be hanging out with us. You're 25. We're 16. But anyway.
I remember thinking that too the first time. I think I first heard the name Zeke on that show Parenthood.
Oh, okay. I don't think I ever watched that.
With the woman that played the mom on Gilmore Girls.
Was Dax Shepard in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're brother and sister. And
Okay.
that show was like, it was pretty good, but that was the first time I heard it. And I remember being like, Zeke, what kind of name is that? I was like, oh, Ezekiel. Like that time I was like, who names their child Ward? And I was like, oh, people with my name, Edward. Did I ever tell you that story?
Yeah. That's good. Anyway. I gotta go to volleyball.
Oh yeah. But with that being said.
Bye.
Now after this, we have to go make the videos for 626.
Wait, I have so much editing to do.
Joyride.
And
yesterday.
And I made the esquites, the corn. I want to do a recipe video. I have so much editing.
Oh man, that esquite was so good.
Thank you very much.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Susie made esquite yesterday for 4th of July. And because what's more American than celebrating immigrant stuff?
That's right.
I'm
Exactly
not being sarcastic.
No,
I'm being
totally
dead serious.
serious.
Yeah. And she put hot Cheetos crumbs in it.
Yeah.
And, sometimes the hot Cheetos thing, I do love them all, but sometimes they feel a little gimmicky. Man.
Yeah. No,
hot Cheetos like really elevated that
really
esquite.
enhances the flavors. I think because the corn is so sweet and that this is so like acidic and spicy. It really just like, it's such a good like
counterbalance.
Yeah, counterbalance. Counterpoint for sure. So that was really good. But I'm gonna have a recipe video for that too.
Esquite.
Yeah. So much. Editing is the whole thing. Editing takes me for fucking ever. I'm so
oh my gosh.
You're like, bitch, I edit the whole fucking
all,
podcast.
All I do is edit all day. I totally feel you.
Dude,
it's like exhausting.
Well, on that note, I'm going to go do some. But
at volleyball camp.
Yeah. While the kids play volleyball, I do my editing. I don't have any other time to just sit still for a fucking second. It's worth it.
Oh, good times. Well, on that note, thank you for listening in. If you want to follow us on our socials,
you can follow me at Susie01 on TikTok and Instagram.
You can find Susie. Remember that last? I'm on everything at Etch a Sketch with a J, and the podcast you can find at What in the Shibal. But other than that, if you do watch us on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Woo!
Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.
My back started to really hurt.
My back.
Dad's still here? Yeah. Some of these are really good.
They're hilarious.